Good afternoon and welcome to this episode of CyberKai. In this episode we're going to talk about how to study for an IT cert and how to know how valuable your IT cert is. So let's get to it. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button, click the subscribe button, and add me on Patreon. Appreciate it, everyone. So let's talk about how do I know what certifications to go after and how valuable is my certification as far as its respect level for this particular career field. To answer that question, I'm going to direct you to the CompTIA chart. All right, I hope I put it up there. The CompTIA chart, I'll put a link in the description, is a really great tool for you to gauge yourself. Now, of course, it's not some crazy golden standard, but it is a commonly used chart in the industry to discern where do I stand? How to study for an IT cert. Where do you start and how do you get into it? And it just seems like a mountain of knowledge that, hey, not sure how do I even start? And the answer is pretty simple. All you do is you first off jump on Amazon, find out whatever cert you want to get and get the most recent copy of that book. Step 1, read the book. Step 2, find a good video course that you enjoy reading. If you're military, DoD, you can use FedVTE, which is an outstanding course for where you basically get to attend a video version of a real boot camp course, but it's free. I'll put a link in the description for that one. And then if you're not military, you have the option of doing like a CBT Nugget video course, and I'll put a link to their courses in the description below as well. So step 2 is watch the video course after you read the book. And then after you read the book, you're gonna say, okay, I've read the book, I've done the video course. What do I do from here? Am I ready to take the test? And the answer really it depends from person to person. I would recommend no, you're not ready to take the test. I would say your third step would be to get as many practice questions or simulations as you can possibly find. There are several textbooks where you can buy the textbook, and it'll come with a disc. Some of the all-in-one textbooks for the CompTIA Security Plus have these little discs in the back. I'll put a link in the description to that book as well, in the description of this video. And then the book comes with this disc that has a test simulator where it'll give you a few hundred test questions, and you can just blaze through that and really see if you understand all of the chapter questions, all of the different concepts, etc. And that for a lot of these certifications, half of the studying process is getting comfortable with answering the questions in the way that they want you to answer it. For an example, Cisco, Microsoft, and CompTIA, a lot of the answers, there's multiple right answers, but which one is the most right? And the answer can be found to that in, for example, in Microsoft, the answer is usually whatever's the shortest way to do a process will be your right answer. Just because it's shortest doesn't mean it necessarily the easiest, though. And then for Cisco, a lot of the correct answers are what is the most Cisco proprietary version and also the shortest method for accomplishing your task, or what is the most secure method of securing your completing your task, depending on what Cisco test that you're taking. And in the CompTIA or the CE Council, a lot of those, or the IC squared test, a lot of those tests, the answer is usually what is the most that we told you to remember in the book kind of answer. For instance, the CISSP, the answer is normally not to fix a problem. Take off your fixer hat, take off that technician hat, and put on the manager hat. What's the more managerial answer? And that's how you'll get most of those CISSP questions, to change your mindset and understand what they're trying to get from you in these questions. So for the CompTIA Security Plus, back when I taught it in the 101, 201, and 301 versions, the questions are much longer. It's more like a paragraph now, and you'll find that there's a lot of double negative in those questions. There's a lot of double negatives in those questions. So for those questions that really throw you a curveball, you have to be comfortable answering those questions. And the only way to get comfortable is running through questions. Now, I'm not saying to use some of those dump sites or anything like that. I do not condone that, because unfortunately for those people, they learn that if you cheat on a test and then show up for a job and don't know how to do your job, people are going to look left and right pretty quick and figure out that you're the idiot in the room. And being the dumb guy in a room when there's an outage of some kind, or there's some kind of technical issue that you should know how to solve, but unfortunately you're just standing there like, it doesn't, it does not go well for those guys. So I do not recommend doing that. Actually study. My recommendation is, if you're looking for a Security Plus, something like a Simlet or something like that, that'll give you an idea if you're ready or not. If the questions are about a paragraph long each, you're probably in the right ballpark. If the questions are short, maybe not so much. An example of that will be, you'll see, what is port 53? You go, oh, it's DNS, no big deal. All right, but that was questions from like the 201, the 101 versions when the test was, let's just say it was easier. Nowadays, they're going to give you a large paragraph type question with a situation where it's Judy likes Sam and Sam likes Margaret, and it'll be some high school drama in there. And then at some point they'll say, hey, when he tries to go to this web page through an IP address, it works. But then when he tries to go through the IP address by typing in the URL, it doesn't work. What's going on? And you're like, oh, well, that's DNS, but the answers aren't DNS. The answers are the port numbers, such as 53. So it's a roundabout way of, it's a really long way of asking the same question, and you have to be comfortable with answering those types of questions, and that just comes with practice and practice. I really recommend, for help, most of my students and myself when I took the tests to renew them or to take them again because there was an extra voucher, I use the all-in-one textbooks. I'll put a link in the description. I think I already said that. And those textbooks come with a CD-ROM in the back that runs you through, chapter questions and such like that. And if you can run through the chapter questions, no problem, then you're looking